Imran, be honest. Wait. How was your experience with your school counselor?
Right. And you're asking this as having been a school counselor yourself?
Yeah, but that was much later.
Got it. Yeah. See, the thing is, I'm pretty sure you will also know how my experience was, given that both of us went to the same school counselor. But what I want to know is, tell me this, right? Because we have had that thing where, at a time when counselors or therapists or psychologists weren't that common in school, if I'm not
At all common.
It wasn't common
Yeah.
at all. Even we didn't have one for the longest time.
She wasn't really a counselor. She was just a nun.
Yeah.
And she gave us moral science lessons, I guess. Can't
She
really
did,
call
right?
that a counselor.
Where she said, love God.
Love God. No, that's someone else.
That's
Love
someone
God,
else.
yeah.
Acha.
No, but when you went to her with problems also, it was never that she actually listened to us. She was always like, study more,
Yeah.
be nicer to your parents,
Yeah.
behave better. And God forbid if you talk to her about relationship problems,
Yes.
you would have a parents.
Of
So
course.
that is not something that happens now.
No, also another interesting thing that I remembered is that I remember like our classmates were all very excited. Not just classmates, everybody else in the school was very excited
Yeah,
when
that
it
we
was
did
announced that
Yeah.
we'll have a counselor who will listen to all your problems, and everybody
Yeah.
was just like, oh yeah.
That was.
And I remember they also had an entire waiting list. People would go and write down their names, and they would have to wait for weeks, if not months, for their
I
turn to
forgot
come.
about that actually. There used to be a waiting list.
Yeah, there used to be a waiting list, and the thing is, we and our group never put our names there.
I think the school believed we needed some
Yeah.
counseling because we were bad
Yeah.
kids.
So it was like in the middle of a class, right? Where someone just came, read out our names, and was like, the counselor wants to meet you, Veronica.
Which is what is so, I think, embarrassing for a child because as a school counselor, we always make it a point to not drag someone out of class because, what do you tell your friends when you go back?
Exactly.
Or what do you like when
Why
people
were you
ask you? Yeah. So it's very embarrassing. And I think her itself doing that, I mean, kind of shows her worth. And of course, the brilliant counseling lessons we got in her tiny dungeon with
Yeah, so
really,
this
really
is
cold.
one thing I remembered when you told me when you were still a school counselor there.
Yeah.
I remember you said that your office at the school had just a lot of sunshine and it just felt really bright and happy for the kids who would come into your office.
Yeah.
And now compared to that,
Oh God, the dungeon that we were taken to,
Exactly.
like criminals.
yeah, and it was so dark. I remember, like we literally
And
had to go
cold.
through. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
dark. It was cold. So a
Like the
dungeon
defense
basically,
against the dark arts
Exactly.
class in Hogwarts. That's
like
what
probably
felt
like the
Yeah.
Slytherin common, not
Yeah.
even the common room. I'm sure.
No, the Snape's class,
Yeah,
basically.
Snape's
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't a happy experience. She always called our parents, which is not something you
Yeah.
do.
I mean,
And
she basically worked as the principal spy.
yeah, she was sent to like get information from us that can be used against us, because that's ethical.
Yeah.
And confidentiality, though,
Oh my
let's not speak on the concept of
wasn't
confidentiality.
discovered back then.
So that's not really counseling because I don't think anyone in a school in their right mind trusted her to ever go to her with an issue.
I don't know, man. I don't know what these people spoke about, the others who went, who had that whole waiting list.
I think initially they were probably excited that we have someone.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
people who went to her once, I don't think they would like, because going to her was like, okay, I'm in trouble. Like that was the
Yeah.
feeling, right?
Yeah.
And she was quite severe. Quite
And
strict.
what do you even talk to her about? Like, how do you even get that advice? Because I very clearly remember, I think 5 minutes after we went inside that room, she said this thing. I remember she looked at us and she did this funny thing with her fingers that she was like, listen to me. Girls and girls, boys and boys, at this age, it's a sickness.
Yeah.
No context, nothing.
Yeah, but to the point when our friend also revealed that she was, a lesbian and the way she reacted holding her cross. Oh my God, forgive me. I listening to this is sin. So,
Yeah.
of course, you can't be judgmental. As a counselor, you cannot be judgmental regardless of your own religion or faith or something. You have to look at others in an unbiased way. And telling, like, I don't know how old was she back then? Maybe 12, 13 years old, maybe. Right? When she
Yeah.
told her, yeah.
No, was it? No. Yeah, around 14, 15 years old. Yeah. 14 or 15. I think.
14, I think around
12 would be class 6. So,
Yeah.
It was after.
Around 14, 15. But yeah, but after that, how do you go back to her? I mean, imagine, and she was a strong person, but
Yeah, of
any
course.
a weaker person, they would be like, okay, what I feel is a sickness and it's a sin.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's very irresponsible on the school's part also, because even now, even when you are a counselor, like the school faculty does kind of check in. You know, they the teachers see the students that you have under you, whether they are showing any progress. You know, we kind of check in with the parents without revealing too many details, that if everything is going well. And at that time, to leave, you know, Veronica like that, a counselor like that, and the school didn't bother checking up that is she actually
Yeah.
terrorizing the students, or if she is, like, you know, actually doing something good, which she wasn't. So it's a
Yeah.
namka counselor.
Yeah, of course, and terrorizing, yes, see, I feel like we look back at whatever happened then and we actually laugh about it. We laughed about it then as well, but maybe because it was like a big group, right, of
It's
six,
just a
seven
defense
people.
mechanism. I mean, what would
That
we
too.
do?
Yeah, what will we
Yeah.
do? But I feel like, it could have affected so many other people in a much worse way,
Yeah.
because I also remember her and it felt like a threat, right? When she said that, because one of our friends said that yes, she's a lesbian, she thought, oh, all of us are
Yeah, we
probably
were all
lesbians.
like stereotyped
And
in
when
that
we did
sense.
not say yes to that, I clearly remember she was like, you have to tell me the truth, or just know that I can take it out of you. Like, I can hypnotize you and take it out of you.
Yeah,
Like, how
hypnotize
do
you.
you even
Right.
hypnotize someone like that?
No, because her idea is these are kids. They can't do anything. They
Yeah.
don't have, you know, they'll get scared if I like bully them at this position. So that was plain old bullying, you know. They were like, just like, you know, I'm gonna scare them, and whatever deep, dark secrets they have in, they're
They
gonna
wanna
spill,
spill.
which is the opposite of what competent counselors do. First, they build a rapport, and then they, you know, then they try to build that trust, and then slowly they want the patient to come to them on their own, or the, you know, whoever they're dealing with, the child, to trust them enough to take it out on their own, not like threaten them and say reveal
Yeah.
your dark
Like, I
secrets.
will reveal all of it. Like, what even was
Yeah,
that?
and if we did, she would call our parents and she would tell them everything. And
Of
if
course.
we had to share it with our parents, we would have done so ourselves. So, I mean, she was a terror. I think we can say
Yeah, she was
she
a
was a massive terror. And I hope if we ever go back to school, I hope they've at least found a competent enough
someone
counselor.
better.
Yeah,
Yeah, someone better.
someone who actually, you know, does something.
So tell me, like, like what actually led you to, choose psychology as a career option?
So actually, when I till the time I was in class 10, I thought I'll do English because I always liked literature. So I thought I'll do something along that line, maybe journalism, mass comm, something like that. And when I went to 11 and 12, I studied from an IB board, which is International Baccalaureate, and you get to choose a lot of combinations.
Yeah.
So one of my combinations, you know, it was either psychology or you know, two, three other sciences that I didn't really like. So I thought, you know, I'm gonna go ahead with this. And when I read it, it just made so much sense to me because all my life, you know, I always thought that, you know, why do I react a certain way? Why do I, you know, I'm very short tempered. So I always used to think, why can't I control my temper? Why do I have to, you know, end up fighting? Or why does this person react this way? Why does this happen? And it all started, you know, making sense to me. So in a lot of ways, you know, psychology is a subject they don't teach before college because you need that maturity for it.
Yeah.
But some places have introduced it now in 11 and 12 as well. So that, you know, from that young age, that idea that, okay, I can understand human behavior, and I'm very interested in things like that. I love talking to people and kind of just getting their idea or their opinions or where they're coming from. So that really interested me. So I did a whole 180 and I said that I'm not going to go into English, I'm going to go into psychology. And once I started, I think there was no looking back. So, yeah.
That's
Still in
interesting.
it.
Also, since we are still on the topic of psychology, and because you've studied it and you've worked as a counselor and you're still working in this field.
Yeah.
So I don't want to name names, but there is someone both of us know who's also gone down the same career path. And the thing is, But there's another side hustle that this person has, where this person is doing, say, tarot card reading and astrological stuff and crystal healing and something called Reiki and all of that.
Right.
So, and this person is doing both of these together, right? She's getting paid for like both of these things. So, what really interests me, see, I don't want to judge because, of course, like it's just up to individuals what they want to do, how they want their profession to play out, what they believe in or don't believe in. But when I was thinking about it, and so there's one thing I was thinking, imagine that that person has a patient, say, is listening to the patients, and say that said patient, has had numerous like terrible things happen to him or her, one after another, and she's probably just talking about it. So, as someone who's doing psychology and who's doing something like that, spiritual, crystal, whatever that is called, how does your mind work? Like, forget what you're telling that person, because maybe if you're in the capacity of a psychologist, you will tell her something related to that because you're supposed to.
Correct.
If you're in the capacity of, say, a crystal healer or a Reiki healer, you'll say that because at that time you're supposed to.
Right.
But how does it go on in your mind? Like, do you think like, oh my God, no, like I need to talk to this person and go deeper into what has happened and maybe provide some sort of, I don't know, relief and help the person understand better, like probably how psychologists think? Or are you just like, no, your stars are not aligned properly? Like, what goes on in those people's minds?
It's a very interesting situation. I must say, like one of a kind situation. So I would say, I mean, see, of course, there are two kind of people, right? Either you believe in what you're doing, right? You believe that, like, if I talk about myself, for example, I believe in the science behind therapy, and I know that it's time taking, it's slow, it's not like there's a medicine and you have it, you're cured. But I know if you take the patience and if you stick with it, then you can have a much better quality of life. So because I believe in the science. Similarly, there are many people, I think, who are, like you said, who does Reiki or crystals and all, who maybe believe in that as well. I mean, I'm at no position to say whether they believe in that or not. But firstly, I think if you're juggling two, like a scientific thing and something that is not so based on a particular scientific principle, so I think being non-judgmental yourself becomes hard, because as a psychologist, I can just talk about in their capacity when they're working as a psychologist. So since that is something I know about, I know that you have to completely, whatever are your learnings, whatever prejudices, whatever societal norms or traditions you have, you got to completely keep that aside, be a blank piece of canvas, and just adhere to what your patient needs and kind of just help them along that path. So I think if someone is doing, like you said, a side hustle in crystals, and if they are doing the counseling, and over there they still have some kind of a money minded view, where they are, say, not giving them the therapy that they deserve, but they kind of pushing them into, like, do this or do that, this ball or this material will give you extra energy, whatever it is. So that is definitely wrong. But sometimes I think, for some people, like I always say, spirituality or the concept of religion, God, it can give support for a lot of people.
The faith.
Yeah, the faith that, okay, there is someone watching over me. So in some cases, if you can't help a person beyond a certain point, or if they're not willing to come to you, take your services, because you can only take the horse to the water. You can't make them drink it. Then if such people, even if they fall into such traps, and they are, it gives them some peace of mind, it gives them some semblance that, okay, if I keep this ball with me, I'm gonna be happier, and they feel happier, they feel nothing's gonna go wrong with me today, they feel less anxious. So I mean, as long as it's helping people, I guess that's great. But I mean, I don't see someone. I think it's very hard to juggle these two things
you
without
can't truly give proper value to the both. I feel like
yes,
equally,
you
that's just
either
not
believe
possible.
in like a more spiritual route, or a more a alternative kind of route, or you believe in science. And I feel juggling it both together, I don't know how true you can be to either,
Yeah, that's why
of the things.
I don't think like you can be like authentic to both of them equally.
Correct, right. So then it comes in whether they're doing it from a money-minded sort of place,
Yeah.
or whether they're doing it, just as something to do. It really depends on the person.
So going back to the school thing, right? Like our high school. Because once again, because we always talk about it, we laugh about it, we have some of the best memories from there.
Right.
Some extremely fun and very weird incidents. But what I also want to know is, did it ever, like, do you think any bit of that affected you negatively ever?
Of course. I mean, I don't think it affected me that negatively because, see, it wasn't happening to me as an individual.
Yeah.
It was happening to the whole group, like, so
Yeah.
like five, six of us. So there was an inherent support system that, okay, we'll get through it together. So it didn't affect me as negatively as it could have. But I think, as since you are also an integral part of the OG group, so I think all of us, if we do look back on those times individually, or even when we were back then, I think we did feel a sense of exhaustion that, every single day you're coming and adults, teachers, they're finding some reason to find faults with you.
Right.
One of us does something, they're making all five of us stand
Yeah,
up.
it's like, okay, why is it just the both of you? Where's
Yeah, where's the
other
rest?
four?
Get there.
Where's the rest?
Everyone's getting a parent
Yeah.
call every single day. They're coming into the classes,
Yeah.
like picking on us. So that is bullying, right?
Of
that
course.
is absolute, organized bullying. And I guess just because we were together and we faced it on a together level.
Yeah, we faced it,
Yeah.
and I think that's what made it easier. I think,
Yes.
and also like that's where we put in the fun element. But definitely, if it was happening to say just individuals like
Yeah.
that, probably wouldn't be fun.
Also, fun level, I think it's like a natural defense mechanism. Like,
Absolutely.
what are you, if it's happening, every other day, what are
Yeah.
you going to do about it? Now, rather than, be completely shook up about it, we chose to kind of make the best of it and leave.
Yeah.
But, the person, again, without taking names, we did have a junior who got
Yeah.
expelled because
Yes.
she had certain tattoos. I
Yeah.
mean, on the year of her class 10 boards, for such a trivial reason, she couldn't give a board. 1 year for her life was wasted. So I think, small things like this, it really does need to change because there was no reason. That's 1 year of her life she'll never get back.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they were also playing like weird mind games, right? Because remember this one time we went to school and we were in the assembly, and the principal just announces that today we're going to check
Yeah.
bags of people and we're going to do it randomly. We're going to call random roll numbers from the classes and sections, and if that is your roll number, then we're checking
Come
your
up
bag.
with your bag, yeah.
I mean, just think about it. You don't even know what number she's saying.
No, but she calculated
She
it,
did.
and she said numbers close to what our roll numbers
Very
were.
close.
But like by a fraction of one or two numbers,
Yeah.
she missed it. Like Rupsha was 33, she said 30.
Yeah,
I was
remember
like
you
1,
were-
she said
you
2,
were- She
something
said
like
2, I
that.
was 13, she said 12. We
Yeah,
I
like
don't
just
know how
just like this.
it got missed.
So we would have been in trouble that day. If we
Yeah,
got
we would
major
have.
trouble. So that worked out. I guess God does look out for you in certain levels.
I
The
also
crystal
remember,
ball somewhere.
yeah, I also remember how pissed she was because
Yeah, 'cause we
weren't
there.
none of us were there in
Yeah.
that list that day. And when we were going up to class, I remember she gave us that stink eye, like I'll get you
That
next
was
time.
it was a competition. It was
Yeah,
war
yeah,
between
yeah,
us.
yeah.
That was a favorite thing to do. Absolutely.
Yeah. Also, I feel like there was also this displacement of anger that these people did, right?
Yeah.
It's like they would get to know that, okay, we have done something. And I feel like they've done this to other people as well, the said junior that you spoke
Yeah.
about, right? It's like they know that, okay, this is not good or we don't like this about this person, but we cannot, punish this person right now.
So we're gonna carry it. We're gonna find some way, some situation. Yeah.
No matter how small it is. And
Yeah.
when we find that, we screw this person up
Like
like
throwing
anything.
water on each other.
Yeah.
Got a parents call for like just throwing water on each other, getting a cake to school.
Yeah. Oh,
So-
did we get suspended for that? Where
No, we got-
you and I were coming out of the other class after the tiffin break.
That is what we got majorly suspended
Yeah,
for.
right.
That
See,
is, they're like,
that
do
is
not
what I'm
come back to
talking
our
about.
school.
Yeah, okay. So to give some context, basically the tiffin break had ended,
Yeah,
right?
and we're not supposed to be in other sections. We're supposed to be in our section.
Once the bell has rung.
Yes.
And we were exactly 10 seconds late.
I think we were like 2 seconds late. I think
Okay.
well just
Yeah,
rang
they
and
just rang
making
and
our
I
way
saw
out of the
someone.
classroom. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah.
it was just the both of us, but the
And the entire group.
group
No, so she made it a point. She's like, why two of you as
Yeah.
the rest of you call them?
Yeah.
And yeah, that was, and they made us sit in the hall, the assembly hall,
Yeah.
the entire day for the next 3 days.
See, that was stupid.
Yeah.
Because that's when
She
was
had a ball of a time, you know.
Because,
Yeah.
okay, so that was stupidity on her because she thought, I think she said something like, I'm sick and tired of calling your parents.
Yeah,
Now
you get your parents.
I want your parents to
Yeah.
come and ask me, why is my daughter not going to school? And we're
Yeah,
like, as
because
if that's not happened.
we are so stupid. We're gonna go and tell our parents.
Yeah, like, listen, we got suspended and they won't let us go
Yeah.
back to school until unless you people
No,
go and
she probably thought we'll come and we'll beg and we'll
Yeah.
grovel and
Yeah.
we'll cry and we'll
Well,
be like,
this was
take me
before
back.
our boards exams.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well,
yeah,
by the way.
correct. That's why she thought we'll beg and grovel.
Even more
And
pressure.
none of us even went to her
Yeah.
for 3 days. We just sitting. She's coming, turning off all the lights.
Oh, we were eating as well.
We were eating.
Yeah.
We were just rolling around the
Yeah.
assembly hall. We actually had a great time. We didn't have to do classes.
We did. We were like, what kind of punishment is
Yeah,
this?
it wasn't feeling punishment wasn't punishing.
Yeah, it wasn't punishing enough. No, it wasn't. But wow, and I feel like we haven't spoken about Roshni the Hitler.
I
That
mean,
was
and I don't think we have enough time to talk about Roshni and her brilliant English, her grasp over the English language, where she asked us all to become Carmels.
Carmel's.
Yes, like go and be
Go
Carmels.
and be Carmel's.
One
yes.
monument.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she left thankfully, and her
Yeah.
life was better for it.
See, I don't know how true this is, but I got to know that before we went to the high school, right?
Yeah.
They had this thing. So remember, Roshni would check if we are wearing an inner inside
Yeah.
the shirt. And all.
God.
So I've heard that there was a time before we went to high school where Roshni would pick up girls' skirts, okay?
See if they're
To
wearing
check
tights.
If they are wearing tights.
But she's done that. She's done that with us also. I must
I
say.
can't remember. But
She's done the inner thing to full on. She's
inner
done.
thing, though, yeah, my
Yeah.
mom got called.
I was not wearing an inner.
With an inner.
Why are you seeing so much at what my daughter is wearing?
Yeah.
Insane.
They're like,
And are you wearing drawers? Are you my mother?
Yeah.
Do I need to tell you what I'm gonna wear or not?
Yeah, and why do you need to look under the skirt? What the
It was
hell?
horrible. The nails.
The nails, yeah.
And we never cut it, so we would
Yeah.
just be like biting it at the last
I think
moment.
that was also a point of time where she'd just like she'd be at the assembly with a couple
No,
of kids.
and she'd be like, I'll cut your nail like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Horrible. This abuse, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I think someone's parents brought the press to school. This was once again before we joined. But because she'd pick up girls' skirts to check.
As you
So
should.
someone's parents got the press and
How
they,
is that
they stopped for a
allowed?
while.
No, she was always like that. She didn't care. I got into trouble for laughing in the tiffin break.
Dude, we all got in trouble for that.
Separate, but I was laughing in the tiffin break. I was not in any other class. I was nice, but Rupsha will remember this. Rupsha and I, we were standing next to that library room. That corridor was there, and I was laughing. And Roshni was staring up at me from 2-3 staircases up, and she waited.
We were all there. She was looking at this one.
She waited for 10 minutes, and then Rupsha is like, onto up. And I looked at her, and she called me, and she scolded me for the rest of the tiffin break. Like, what did I do? Like, you're scolding me for laughing. That is how much she hated our guts.
Yeah,
Honestly.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I also remember.
It's a fun experience.
Yeah, and I remember the things she confiscated from our bags when
From
she
Garvey's
did.
bag,
When she did get to check our bags.
half-eaten
Of course,
pizzas,
half-eaten pizza,
half-eaten apples,
apple,
condoms.
there was it there?
Argy's bag, it won't be. I think there was a beer bottle or something also, like empty.
Empty.
Yeah. There's all kinds of stuff over there.
And also I remember she got a You remember we used to get the recharge cards at
Don't
that.
talk to me about this. The amount of recharge cards she has stolen from me. Give it, give it, give it. I'm telling you, all her talking that she's done when I was in school has been on my money ka recharge. I'm telling you.
And it's so bad because you remember we wouldn't have a lot of money.
Yeah, like
We just-
10 rupees, 10 rupees, and literally 10 rupees, 15 rupees. I'm getting from
50,
mom.
and
You get 1
50
15
rupees.
rupees.
No,
She
50
did that.
rupees,
That
yeah.
day I was feeling very happy. I was like, today I have too much money. I'm going to recharge my phone for 50 bucks.
50 bucks and she took that.
Gala time, she took my 50 bucks recharge card.
Yeah.
What cheap, no.
So that was there. I also remember she got a whole bottle of talcum powder. I remember she asked
Also
Gargi.
Gargi.
Yeah. She asked Gargi, "Ki, what is this? What is this white powder?" And I remember it was summers and we had asked her to get like a
Yeah,
deal or something.
Thanda.
That
Yeah, it was our fault.
It was our fault.
Yeah.
And she was like,
God.
"Oh, I just have it because it's the summers and all." And she
Also-
scolded us for powder.
No, but also nowadays kids, they don't have a restriction on how much, money they can get to the school.
Yes.
We would be allowed
Yeah.
20 bucks, remember?
Yeah,
We
yeah,
couldn't
yeah.
get more than 20 bucks to school. Nowadays, kids come with like phones and stuff.
Yeah.
And this one time, Gargi had like a plethora of money, which she put in my bag. And as a result, both of us got suspended over that. So, yeah, that's a lot of suspension stories.
Yeah. Yeah, but like, so I don't know much, but how do you think it is for like kids nowadays in school?
Way honestly though, I don't know if the kids are better for it or worse, because they've become way too lenient in schools. You're not allowed to scold kids anymore. You're not allowed to, obviously hitting no one can think as it shouldn't
Yeah.
be done anyway. But you can't like give them a punishment like go stand outside the class. That's not allowed.
Oh, which reminds me, I'm sorry to cut
Yeah.
you off, but there was this point of time where our entire class got the punishment, and because there wasn't enough place to stand, they made us stand all around the staircase.
I remember
Entire
that.
staircase.
Yeah, because our class was also a gem. I think we had the highest record for making teachers walk out
I
the time.
specifically remember what it was for. There was that caramel feast happening. We had
Oh
to
yeah,
do
we were doing the thumbs up thing.
thumbs up
Yeah.
thing, and the froth hit the ceiling. How that's possible?
That was not me, okay? Honestly, I've never supported that. That was not us. That was other
you.
people.
Yeah.
First time because of other people we got. And
Yeah.
remember when whole class 7 parents were called because we made Ruth cry. And everyone is sitting outside the principal's office one by one. Parents are standing in line to meet the principal. And my mom scolded me so much. I'm like, whole class is called. Yeah, what do you
My
want?
parents didn't come.
My mom, and she used to call my dad specifically, knowing that my dad is in office. She used to never call my mom. She used to call my dad, and then she used to like sympathize with dad and try to flirt with him.
Wow.
Yeah. Like poor daddy, dear daddy, and my dad is like, you come, I will show you today. Again, they've called me in the middle of my office.
No, but that was bad because I don't remember what did we do that Ruth went out crying. I just remember
I
she
think
went
we're
out
not
crying.
listening to her.
She
Like,
went
she's
out
trying-
crying a couple of
There's a
times,
lot
I
of
think.
times.
Yeah,
I
lots.
know it's not just lots of times. 2 grades consistently we made her cry. Class 7, class 8.
Yeah.
I think she left only after that.
Yeah.
But
What
she
did
was
we
such
do?
we never used to listen to her. I think the whole class in general never used to listen.
That's fine, but why did she cry?
She's very sensitive.
Achha.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
We were quite mean to her, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was bad. I feel bad.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like a bunch of kids just bullying you where you're like,
We didn't bully her. I mean, maybe you should have a bit more personality as a teacher to hold the class, and we wouldn't dare do that to Roshni.
oh yeah, absolutely
Yeah.
not, dude. She'd actually send us to concentration camps. Like, no way.
We ain't
No
getting home
way.
anymore.
I remember there was this time when class 5 or 6, it was my birthday and I was wearing this necklace, okay? Like, and the locket was a T, okay? And I went to give chocolates to Roshni and she's like, when did you become Christian? When did you become Christian? I'm like, what? What Christian? She thought I was a cross.
Yeah, but because we were Christian school, convent school, we had catechism classes. Remember, we never had to
we
go.
were like, yeah.
Yeah,
We were not allowed.
we were not allowed,
to
yeah.
What was happening there
Yeah,
also.
it's some like secret camp.
Yeah.
Everyone with the Bibles. I don't know.
And sometimes they'd come out with ash on their face. I remember that. Yeah. Like on the forehead, they had something religious related to that. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that
No, I don't
blush on the face sometimes.
know. But I remember they would be really traumatized on the day because they're like, we forgot our Bible. I've misplaced my Bible. So there's one thing we didn't have to do, thankfully.
Yeah, which was nice. We did what? Value education.
Yeah, we got value education,
Love,
which was Ruth.
Ruth. Ruth was only saying that you love your enemies or
Love
was
your
it
enemy, and she said we must learn from the terrorists how to make use of time.
Yeah.
Yes, we must thank the terrorists. They have taught us how to use time properly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like love God, love your enemies.
love,
Love.
love.
Yeah,
That's a bit of a South Indian touch.
we had a lot of nuns from South India.
Yeah,
actually.
most of them
Most-
Keralites, I think. Kerala
Yeah,
and all,
most of
yeah.
them.
Correct.
We also had like a Bible thing at the assembly, right?
Yeah, Bible reading and
Bible
reflection.
reading and reflection. Yeah.
We had prayers followed by Bible reading, reflection, carnival chime, substitutes, which was the best thing.
Yeah, which was
Which
the
are
best thing
substitute
ever.
teachers
Yeah.
and back to
Except
class.
if you got Roshni, of course.
Yeah, except
Except if you got
not the original teacher. I don't want the substitute.
study. No, I studied.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Roshni substitute classes, you remember, it was like pin drop silence, and you can't even
Yeah.
turn your head. Forget doing anything else.
No,
Forget
you
talking.
can't even breathe, bro.
Yeah.
If she hears your breath also
Bas,
come out,
you're
she'll
done.
punish you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you had to like sit like this. You couldn't,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
couldn't do anything.
Straight.
You could like this.
Bright eyed and bushy tailed.
That was nice. But yeah, I remember how we cracked the code for the Bible reflection thing. Like, because
Yeah.
not every day you can't listen to, you can't pay
Yeah,
attention to
we
it every
just say
day.
love God,
Yeah, love
believe
God,
in
love
God,
your
love your
enemies,
neighbors,
love your
enemies.
enemies.
Yeah,
And that
love
was
your
so-
friends.
love
Love your
your
friends. So
friends.
I would say with emphasis, love your friends. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was more or less the thing. Yeah, makes me wonder what happens in convent school nowadays.
We shall go for this podcast 2.0. Visit
Yeah.
a convent school and share the views on that.
Yeah, we should.
The difference between old school convent plus new school convent.
New school convent, yeah. Yeah, I mean, once again, now that I think of it, if it hadn't been like an entire group, it would have been pretty damn traumatic.
So we're very lucky. We had each other
Yeah.
and the rest of our unnamed friends.
Unnamed friends, yes.
Although they would like a shout out.
Would they?
I don't know. I don't-
Why not?
They
Who
are
cares?
moody. Yeah, who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares?
But I think it was a good decision leaving when we did, right? Because
Yeah, sure, it was a decision. It was our decision, right? I don't think we had any part to play in that decision.
I mean, legally they were not allowed to do that, I guess.
For that, we'd have to inform our parents of what we did, huh?
Oh,
To
yeah,
go
yeah,
the
yeah.
legal
Yeah,
way,
yeah.
which was much more terrifying for me
Yeah.
than leaving the school. I was like, it's time to bid goodbye to this chapter of my
You
life.
did not even go like for that, right? When, for the
Because I am not stupid. I saw her face when she said, don't come back to me. I was like, मुझे बेइज्जती कराने का, I have no
Why?
interest
But
today.
I think Ruksha and I forgot about it.
No, I think you guys think she loves you and she
Yeah,
will
yeah,
go
yeah.
without you.
No.
You guys thought she's just joking. I told you guys that
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
no
we thought
point.
she's joking.
Even Neha didn't go.
It was just Ruksha and me, I remember.
Yeah, me, Neha, Arundhati didn't go.
Gargi also didn't go.
Gargi was not expelled.
Why wasn't she there?
Oh no, Gargi
Gargi
was.
was
Gargi is the
expelled.
one who first started laughing.
Yeah.
Oh, and she started to leave. Yeah, Gargi
Yeah,
also
Gargi
didn't go.
was
Yeah,
expelled, yeah.
yeah.
Neha was not expelled.
Neha was not expelled, right? Neha wasn't there that day.
Neha and Triza were not expelled.
Caesar had separated by the way.
Yeah, she had said she
Become
was
goody two shoes.
Yeah. I still remember like Ruksha and I were on the line, okay, and we were going. And they were like, you had to tell your name. They were looking at a list and they were like, yeah, go in. And everybody had to go and talk to the principal, okay.
Yeah.
And when Ruksha and I went and we said Tyasha and Ruksha, what I saw is like the paper where they were checking off the names, right? They took it up like this, and there was a small, like a post-it kind of a thing with 5-6 names over there.
Which
She
was
looked at that and she was like, I'm sorry, you can't take admission.
No, I knew. I saw her face the day she made us sign that. I knew. I was like, this is the end of our journey here. This is where we part. So yeah. So you guys are foolish, basically. Rupsha.
Yeah, I think maybe she was like, we don't have enough grounds to give them a TC, but we have made them sign that they are not coming back after class 10.
Yeah, I mean, who is gonna argue with her?
Yeah.
Also, I think they would have found a way to like give us a TC
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
between
I
11 and
think
12.
which is why our
Yeah.
parents were also so okay with it, right?
My parents were like, don't go to Carmel anymore. This is not required. You go to another school.
Same, I think all of us parents were like that because
Yeah.
they just knew that if we went back,
It's the same cycle.
same cycle,
It's
we'd
just-
actually get kicked out.
Yeah.
Who said something?